Hi, I'm Chip,
Hey, I'm Steve.
and this
is Chip's Garage.
Today, as promised, we're going to show you my 1971 340 Duster street strip car. Actually, it's a clone.
Nothing wrong with a clone.
We've talked about it before.
Nothing wrong with a clone.
I love it, but I love the look of the 340 look
Right,
with the
right,
stripes and the 340, and and plus it's plum crazy purple.
It's not your grandmother's Duster.
It's not my grandmother's Duster. In Plymouth, by the way, a lot of people don't know this. It wasn't called plum crazy purple for Plymouth. That was Dodge.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Plymouth called it in violet.
I never knew.
That was the name of it. So
Wow.
for those of you who didn't know,
today.
yeah. So anyway, it's a clone, but we made it look good, and it's a car that I got when my kids grew up, and I eventually had a little bit of money and time. And I said, I'm going to get a muscle car.
And money.
And a ton of money.
A ton of money.
Yeah. Ask my wife, she'll tell you.
$300 million, huh?
$300 million.
Yes.
So, so anyway, I wanted to make a muscle car, get back into it. I'm just going to make a fast street car, right? And the more we did with it, I wanted to make it faster and faster. You never go fast enough. I know. And eventually we took it to the track, and we actually did fairly decent for just playing. And that set in motion a whole nother deal.
A whole nother deal.
But it is a street strip car. We run it on the street. And
I was
we do
impressed
race
when
it.
I rode in it. Oh my God, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, so our
it's
goal
really
with this
cool.
car is this winter and going into next spring, really. We're going to start traveling some events in the southeast.
Nice, okay,
Yeah, and
okay.
some NHRA events and that kind of
Nice,
stuff. And
nice.
and just play. We like
Fun.
to play. It's about fun. And to us, that's what it's about. We don't get into all these arguments and blah, blah, blah. We just have fun and enjoy it. And if we do good, we did good. That's
If not,
great.
put it on a trailer, go home.
There
do it
you
next
go.
time.
You met some nice people.
Met some nice people.
So let's go take a look
go
at
ahead.
it.
Always great coming into your garage. Always beautiful in here.
Yeah, you make a good point. Is that it's never felt bad walking into a garage. When you go into your garage, it always feels good. So we want to talk to you and show you a few things that the car has accomplished. This is a
Now, were these race cars when we were kids?
Yeah.
We considered these as street cars?
They were.
Okay.
They were. Yeah, man. The pedal cars.
The faster you pedal, the better you get down the line.
Have you ever tore your foot up and ankle?
Oh,
whatever
yes.
you've been
Yes.
doing?
Yeah.
Well, we'll do a video
Okay.
on that one time talking about the different things in the garage. But here's the track championship back in 2013 at our local track, and we won it sportsman class, of course. We're very proud of it because again, we weren't one of these serious crews every week. We just had fun. And we went, we enjoyed it, and thankfully we just won the championship.
I have a friend of mine has a pro mod. He spent $75,000 on a block.
Yeah. And we don't. In reality, really, we got about probably $25,000 in the car.
That's nothing.
Well, it really isn't for everything we've done. A couple motors, that kind of stuff. Here's where we were in Pink's All Out, and you might be close to that one. We went to Rockingham, which was one of my bucket list type things, Steve.
Yeah.
Rockingham drag strip.
Yeah, Rockingham.
Right?
Wow.
Everybody knows Rockingham. And so these are pictures of when we raced there, of course. And out of like 450 cars, we made it to the final four. And we got called for a jump on the final four. It was between us and another pair. And when you played it back in slow motion, we actually didn't jump. But hey, again, we're not. And I would encourage people, don't get excited and upset, and it makes racing not fun to me.
Sure.
Roll with the punches.
Arguing and fighting.
Yeah.
God,
Roll with the punches. Have a great time. Racing's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of nice people. So,
Yeah, I do.
So anyway, let's go in. I'll show you a few more things that the car's accomplished.
When you first met me and told me about this, I did a little follow-up. It's just such a really neat story and really neat car. What you have accomplished with a car with almost basics.
Yeah,
with your suspension and your
well,
engine, transmission.
It's really interesting that you say that, and everybody needs to know. We'll talk about the car here in a minute, but it's all old school, naturally aspirated, foot brake.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of electronics or whatever. We got an MSD box and a line lock. That's all we
nitrous,
have.
Nitrous?
No,
nitrous.
nothing
All
like
motor,
that.
all motor.
Yeah. So anyway, here's a picture of, again, the track championship. My buddy Rick, who is a motor builder. You guys have seen him in other videos. And here is a 5-page article that was done in Mopar magazine about the car.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was really neat because what they did was they were doing a special edition on grassroots racers.
Oh.
And the importance of grassroots racers, and like we talked to being all naturally aspirated and that kind of stuff,
Yeah, cool.
they found our car very, very interesting in the fact that we won the track championship with a car, because we raced people that had electronics, that had trans brakes, that had nitrous, that had whatever. And so the fact that we did it like that, they found very interesting, and actually came to the track and did that.
I would think that somebody come up to you and say, listen, how's this car beat mine?
Yeah.
I've got like 10,000 million more dollars behind than yours.
You know what's interesting? We've had guys actually try to fight us, that we lied to them. Yeah, they came to us and said, hey, we want to run you guys, and we'll run anybody. And we don't mean that pridefully.
Yeah. No, but
it's in fun, right? It's fun to try to beat each other, but it's not a big deal. If we lose, we shake the guy's hands and, man, great run, you beat us, great job. But we've actually had people, after we beat them, and they got like 3 times as much money in their car, and we beat them, and they tell us we're liars, that we have nitrous, that we have this, that we have that, and
what do you have it stuffed in the roll?
Yeah,
roll bar?
I don't know.
Valve down here in the roll bar? Yeah.
But anyway, make it fun. Racing's fun. Have a good time with it. So let's go and get the car.
Every racing was like that, but it depends. If you ever watch old stock car racing, some of those guys had some really neat tricks that they won. And some of the drag racers, some of the tricks that you have to be good with the tricks.
Well, and there's the thing. I tell people all the time, we have fun with it, but we do take serious when we work on it and what we do. And people ask me, well, if you don't have all that stuff, how are you so successful, and how do you make it fast? And the key is combination. The combination of your suspension, your transmission, your motor, your rear end, your gearing, everything has to work collectively together. Because what that does is make you more reliable and more consistent.
Right.
And any real racer will tell you the key to winning is consistency.
Right, consistency.
Yeah, so that's how we did it.
Buying something off the shelf, this will fit, this will work. It doesn't always work.
That's right.
And that's the thing. You have a lot of notes.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah.
We have a notebook that every time we run down the track, we have a page of things listed that we fill out and make sure that we track, and we know everything from weather to gearing to timing to everything. How fast it ran in 60 foot, 330s, the whole thing.
That's important.
It is important, and that information helps you understand. So when you make a change on a race car, you want to make one change at a time. Don't change 5 things, because when you take your notes and then you look at your time slip, how do you know which one made the changes?
Right.
But if you make one change and then you watch your time slip change as you run, you know what that one change did. Right. So it helps you be more accurate.
And you have to be on top of that. That's drag racing.
100%. And all you racers know that already, but for you who don't. So anyway, here it is. I guess you want me to start it up?
Oh, yes. That's the big part of the day. Start it up, Chip. Let's roll it out.
Let's start it up and roll it out, and we'll take a look at it.
We got a flat tire here, Chip.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
What happened there?
I don't know. Didn't notice that.
Yeah, let's roll it
I'll
up.
do it. Let me get that, and you'll talk about the car.
Yeah,
okay?
sure. That's a good idea.
Race cars do have flat tires once in a while,
Well, that doesn't normally go flat, but you guys can tell we don't rehearse our videos before we get in. We just come in and do them, and we like them being natural like that. So let me show you a few things why Steve's doing that. We'll take the hood off.
You got that big old heavy hood by yourself?
Yeah, big old heavy fiberglass hood. So here's the motor. It is a 1971 340 motor, and it's the second motor we put in. We rebuilt the same block, and it's a 418 stroker. So obviously we put a stroker kit in it. You can see we tried to keep a lot of things on this car. The idea behind it was to keep it really in that 70s era. So again, naturally aspirated. Now we do have some aftermarket stuff. You can see we got aluminum radiator for obvious reasons with some radiator fans if you want to look in here. So there is some things, but you can see it's still belt driven. We still got an alternator on it. Those kind of stuff. We do have the MSD6 box, as you know. Here's something interesting, Steve.
What's that?
Look at this piece of wood right here.
Yeah, I saw that.
A lot of people don't know what that is, and that is for cooling the fuel. So it's actually birch wood, and birch wood is the wood to go with. They make them in all kinds of wood, but birch wood seems to work the best for cooling and longevity and that kind of stuff.
Something in nature.
Yeah, and again, that's one of those old school tricks, and that's what we did with this car. Again, 70s air type stuff. Now we do have a Willwood master cylinder,
And no power brakes.
and we got no power brakes, and we got it's disc all the way around. We did
Line
add
lock.
that's our line
What I
lock.
like is all your wires are nice and neat,
Yep,
and they're not
yep.
flopping around and arcing out, and
Yep.
everything's grounded. And I had a 340 Dart, 1969 GTS. Love that car. I wish I
Yeah.
still had it. And when I got it, the guy was telling me once, there was a big Mopar guy. He says they made 340s for one thing, to race.
Oh yeah,
They weren't
yeah.
putting trucks and buses and all that.
Right,
340s. They
right.
were race engines.
Right.
High winding race engines.
That's right. And if you do some research on the 340, go back, you'll find out that they were super competitive stock.
Right.
You know,
Right.
compared to
Reliable.
the other
Reliable.
manufacturers.
Very reliable.
Yeah, yeah. Now this is also a W2 headed 340, which is very old school race heads, W2. Now these are the
X-heads?
These are, no, they're actually different than the X-heads.
Okay.
Yeah, they're called W2
I
heads.
had the X-heads.
Yeah, and now you got, man, I think they're at W9 heads now. So,
Oh.
you know, there was W2, and I won't be
Really?
exact on this, but like W3, W5, W7, and I think they're W9s.
Just different flow?
Now, yeah, just improvements, I'm
Valve.
sure. Yeah, but these are the old school W2 heads, which again is very, very cool. So, anyway, let me crank it up and get it out here now that we got air in the tires.
It sounds so good. Can't get enough of that. You know, as a little kid, I'd hear a car like this start in the neighborhood because back in the early 70s, these guys had these cars, all Road Runners and Chevelles and Camaros. And man, when I hear open-headed car, and I ran over there.
Oh, yeah.
And just watched it and just had to say,
Yeah,
one day, you know.
Oh, me too, man.
Oh.
It was like, it was better than Christmas.
Oh, better than
almost, right?
Christmas, right.
Yeah.
And it's open header now.
Yeah, it is open
And long
header.
tube. You have
Yeah,
long tube.
Yeah, long tubes, and we won't get into that too much, but they're, you know, people don't know on your headers you can put extenders,
Right.
you know, from anywhere from a foot to maybe 2 or 3 foot, and they actually scavenge, what
Right,
called scavenge,
right.
and it gives you different back pressures on the motor, and you get speed out of it. So very cool and interesting. So let's just go around it real quick. We got lightweight, and it's got the drag wheels on it. We do have the stock exhaust over in the garage that we put on when we're on the street, but it's set up for racing, and we also have a different set of wheels and tires we put on it for the street. So if you'll come on in, notice on the interior here, I really, again, tried to keep the 70s look. And so I kept the original dash. This is the original radio. It actually works. I got the old Suntech. Everything's original here. I did put a cheetah shifter in it.
Roll up.
Here's a cheetah.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Ashtray, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so simple, but it was effective, you know.
Yep. So I got the cheetah shifter in it here, and it does have a reverse valve body, so you have to manually shift it. And it's got the original.
And the red button. What's the red button for?
The red button's your line lock.
Line lock.
Yeah. So emergency brake, everything's sort of original,
Very.
and it works their way in the old school steering wheel everybody wanted.
Which is about 2,800 pounds.
Yeah, it actually, believe it or not, is right at 3,000 pounds. 3,000
pounds.
Yeah, because again, we didn't do anything with the frame or anything. Looking here real quick, you'll see we do have a 4-point roll bar. And we're actually getting ready for, because of the racing we're going to do in the new motor, we're going to put a bar down here with a swing out. So we'll actually have a 6-bar,
nice.
which makes us legal. Yeah, so.
Anything under, what, 10 seconds, is that correct?
Well, no, it's actually, you don't want to go under 10 seconds unless you want to spend a crap load of money.
Oh,
That's
okay,
when all the
right,
things
yeah,
come in.
yeah.
So this car is actually a low 10-second car.
Okay.
Yeah, so we run a very low 10-second.
Hey, the ride I got was, I'll always remember it.
Yeah, so of course you got the spoilers, which you saw. Oh, the bumpers front and back are actually fiberglass. And again, there's a ton of little tricks that you do.
I love these lights. I always love just the look. Just look how beautiful this car is.
Oh, I know.
And you know what? Back when we were growing up, there were a dime a dozen.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Everywhere.
I bought one for $150.
Yeah.
I brought it home, put transmission fluid in, and drove it for a year.
If you'll grab the keys for me out of it. Here's the on-off safety switch, which again is a safety item. We do have a tranny shield on it, and the different things. We got the fire extinguisher inside it, so we've got it set up pretty much for safety. Other than having, it's a round one, upside down round one.
Ah, yeah, there we go. Go ahead. Right. There it goes.
All right, and we got our fuel cell, obviously, and then we've got our battery tied down in the back, of course, again, all safety items. Weight too. Awesome. And notice that we use the original gas fuel pipe for a vent off our tank, so that's how we vent it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Very good idea.
Yep.
And it's very, very important to have a vent.
Yeah. Now, an interesting thing with these real quick is these trunks actually came with the mounting holes, all of them in a duster.
Really?
For
a wing.
Your spoilers or your wings, yeah. And
mean,
they came with the holes, the bolts, everything on all of them, so you could just drill it through and put your wing on there if you wanted to. So, I guess for manufacturing, it just made it easy. So, but some really cool things. You can get a good side shot of it here.
Now,
and
how long have you had it?
I've owned this car probably 15 years now, Steve. And I know every nut and bolt on this car. Me and my buddy Rick, again from Rick Pagan, you can see Pagan Performance. Right. But we know every nut and bolt on this car. Right. I can tell you anything about it. If there's a funny sound, I know it immediately. Yeah. And so,
it's your baby here.
Yeah, it's my baby. I'll never get rid of it. It's with all my cars, actually. But we got the old wood grain.
I know. That's the old days. But, if you look, and it's nice to see this. Nowadays, modern electronics, you take your Hellcat out, you just get on the track. This one, you actually have to do things.
You have to do everything, We're constantly adjusting the suspension. It's got double adjustable shocks on all four corners.
Nice.
So you literally got thousands of adjustments you can make to your suspension. It also has a full cow track setup. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, I know what these are for, but tell everybody.
Essentially what those do, because of the pressure when you do burnouts and when you drag race, the amount of pressure it puts on your slicks and your tires, they want to spin around the rim. So you put these in, and they're basically screws, and they screw right into the tire, and they stop your tire from spinning. Yep.
And you were talking about CalTrack. So basically, you have a 340 727 with an 8 3/4 rear end, and you have a subframe connector and CalTrack.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very simple, but you tweak it.
Right.
It's not just you buy it and do it, but it's all tweaked.
It also has sliders. So on the back side of the leaf springs, there's literally a box that slides on rollers where each leaf spring, depending on the pressure you put in. So if you think about what you said, you've got just a million adjustments between the front and the back. And of course, you can adjust the cow track bars as well,
Right.
which gives you either a stronger hit or a softer hit.
Yep.
So you got the shocks, you got the cow tracks, you got the sliders. It's just a million things you can adjust, and there's key, because every track, and even at the same track, conditions are different.
Sure. And I can see why somebody would come up and say, "Oh, how do you beat everybody? But, there's these little secrets in there that are not really secrets, but it's just fine tuning.
That's right.
And knowing it.
Again, everything working together collectively and being consistent.
Sure.
And making one change at a time, so you're constantly adjusting. But at our track, when there's an issue with the track and they're worried about it, they always have us run down the track first, because they know our car runs straight.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's.
Yeah.
What axles do you run?
Well, we run Moser axles, right? So you want race axles, again, depending on your times. And we have a spooled rear end. So it is an 8 3/4 Mopar rear end, but we spooled it. And we got 410 gears in it right now.
Nice.
So we do sometimes run 430s, 410s. Again, another adjustment you can make.
Depending on the track.
Depending on the track.
Conditions.
Yep. And then we had a custom drive shaft made for 1,000 horsepower, which we don't run. We run about 650 horsepower.
10-inch tire?
Yeah, that's a 10.5.
Okay, 10.5.
Yeah, so that's a 10.5, and this is what you would consider a small tire.
Okay.
So.
And anything above that, then you'd be in a different.
Right, a class, again, depending on what they're running.
That'd be more money, more this.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily on tire size, because that's really by speed.
Okay.
But they do have categories that, you can only run so big of a tire, or you got to move up in the category. So we like to run small tire.
And the people that are going to see this, and me, myself, are going to be impressed. Or I'm impressed, but they're going to be very impressed, because basically this is a car put together, and it just runs so well.
Yeah.
The way it's put together.
Yeah. And again, what was cool was we really just wanted to make a street car, and it is a street car. But it just happened to become successful at the track based on just, we did things right. That's, I mean, really what it amounted to. Right. And having fun. You do better when you have fun, Steve.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And not take it so seriously,
Hey, I don't know if anybody noticed this shirt. CHSS, Too Fast for You. Let's look at the back here, Steve. Chip's Hot Rod Speed Shop. That's the shirts we have for our shop here. So.
Yeah. And it's been great. Thank you for telling me and everybody else out there about this. It's just been awesome. And I'm looking forward to going to a few races with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't wait to,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're out of time, buddy. I'd love to talk about it forever, and it's fun, and maybe sometime we can take a video of Chip's Garage taking a ride in.
Can I take it for the weekend?
Oh, no.
Oh.
All right, well, we're out of time, buddy.
That's it.
So I'm Chip.
And I'm Steve.
And this is
Chip's
Garage.